You got Brian.
Question for both Lawrence and Ty. It's about the new additions. Lawrence, I'd kind of like to get your ideas. I know we all like Landry and Montrez. I thought they were great for the club, but I do believe that Luke and Serge are very nice upgrades. If you could tell me, Lawrence, what you were looking and seeking in the offseason, and Ty, having been here last year and now seeing these two guys, how you guys and how your coaching staff thinks you guys can kind of infuse them into the offense.
Sure. I think, Brian, first of all, obviously great appreciation of Montrez, JaMychal, Landry, and Rodney first. But I think second, in terms of we had very targeted goals from what we wanted to try to get accomplished in this abbreviated offseason. We wanted to improve our playoff rotation. And by doing that, we wanted to add a range shooting 5 who also is a rim deterrent, which we feel extremely fortunate to add Serge. We wanted to increase our playmaking, which we felt we did that with both Luke and Nick. And we also wanted a versatile wing who can play both ends of the floor, which we think Nick really answers in that. So it was a very targeted approach. We had limited tools to do it and just feel extremely fortunate that we were able to bring in those guys, as well as drafting 2 young developmental players in Daniel Turo and Jay Scrub.
And Ty, how you feel you're going to be able to integrate those guys into the offense that was already a top 5 offense last year. But like I said, I do feel that these guys are nice upgrades.
Just having Trez, just seeing Trez play here last year, being an assistant coach, I thought it was phenomenal. Just his motor and the way he played offensively of, attacking the glass and getting to the paint, getting to the basket, was great for us. I think you had a different type of player in Serge, was a stretch 5, more of a pop player, but also was able to protect the rim and protect the basket. And that's what he does well from day one of his career. So very excited about that. I think also with, losing Sham was huge for us. I thought we had a young talent who can shoot the basketball, come off screens, a lot of pick-to-picker actions. That was tough for us to lose him, but, we got a good player and I can't see it. Hello?
Yeah, you're good.
It kind of cut in and out. Oh, there it goes. There it goes.
Yeah, you're fine on our end over here.
Okay, I'm sorry. And then we got a good player in Luke who can also stretch the floor and make plays and also shoot the basketball as well. So we lost, JaMychal as well, and 3 good players we lost. And I think Lawrence in the front office did a great job of just trying to refuel our team and getting us some good pieces to make up for what we lost.
Great. We'll move over to Jim Hill. Jim Hill, you can go ahead.
How about now, Coach?
Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, it's good now. Okay.
Oh, good, Coach. Good. First of all, congratulations. And I'd like for you to talk about what will you tell your team about what they didn't accomplish last year, because there were so many great expectations about last year that the team did not get to. What will you tell them about the noise that they will hear this season?
You have to block out the noise, Jim. I think, you just have to move forward. Last year, we all know we underachieved. We had high expectations, and we didn't accomplish those goals, along with 29 other teams, So when you start the season, everyone's, seeking to win a championship, and that's what you want to do. And we fell short of that, and we all know that. But now we have, a new attitude. We have a new system that we're putting in place, and we're excited to have this opportunity to be back on the floor. And, with the expectations means you have a chance to win a championship. So I'm excited. Been talking to our players for the last month and a half, 2 months. They're very excited. So we're just happy and excited for the task at hand.
And that could also serve as motivation as well, can't it?
Yeah, anytime you step on the floor, you should be motivated anyway. So I wouldn't say that. I'm not a guy who listens to the outside noise. Never in my career I've ever done that. So it's just about us. It's about our team. It's about our organization. It's about our fan base. And, we just got to do it collectively, and I think we'll be in great hands.
Thanks, Coach, and good luck.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hill.
We'll move over to Andrew Greif. You can go to Andrew.
Hey, this is for Lawrence, and thanks, Ty, for doing this as well. Last time we talked to you, Lawrence, in October, you mentioned kind of the difficult month that had led up to Ty's hiring. Now that you kind of take the stock of the entire offseason, how would you just kind of describe what these last 3 months have been like as you guys trying to go make fixes? And also, I guess, knowing that there are still title expectations, what kind of pressure do you feel like you guys are under to reach those this year?
Yeah, I think one is we're extremely excited. I think the last time we talked, obviously it was a difficult time, but I think all of us have used that pain of how the season ended as a great driving force to get better. You have to own it. And I think being a great team is extremely difficult, and you need that shared adversity. And that's what we're going through. And just observing Ty and his staff, how they're working on the floor is inspiring. Observing our players, just their drive, the ability to, I think if you're going to do something special, you have to own it. There aren't any excuses. It's having that curious mindset of what do I need to do better? How can I help my teammates get better? And that's what we're observing. And so just seeing the engagement from our guys, and then also just from the complete staff. I think when you fall short, and especially the way we fell short, you can't sweep anything under the rug, and you have to put everything under the microscope and look at how you personally get better, how as a team you can get better, and organization how you can get better. And I think we've made gains in that area in a short amount of time.
And then because of last year was for both whoever wants to take this, it was such a stop-start beginning of the year because of injuries. How healthy are Paul and Kawhi to begin camp specifically, and is anyone else going to be out of action right out of the gate?
Yeah, I think in regards to Kawhi and Paul, it's a completely different camp experience for him this season compared to last season. If you remember, last season they basically both missed camp. Paul was delayed coming off shoulder surgery. Kawhi was delayed in terms of coming off continued treatment and therapy. So this will be a completely different approach. In regards to the whole roster, we really won't have a terrific feel for that until all our guys are in town, kind of going through all the biomechanical testing that our group does, and then we'll have a better sense for when we start the contact on Sunday.
Move over to Farbad. You can go ahead, Farbad.
Here's a question for Coach Ty Lue. Last season, we didn't see too many rotations with two bigs like Zoo and Trez. Is that something you can see a little bit more this year with Zoo and Ibaka, or is it still going to be one big at a time?
I think you can definitely see that. I think Serge he can play the 4, he can play the 5. In his career, he's played the 4 a lot. So with this new season and a quick season, just quick turnaround, I can see Serge playing some 4 and some 5, and him and Zoo playing together too as well. So just got to start camp, see how it goes. But I think it's a possibility you will be able to see a little bit of that.
We'll move over to Brad Turner. You can go ahead, Brad.
Lawrence, this is for you. Obviously, COVID-19 has not gone away. So what's your level of concern of players perhaps missing games, missing weeks? And how do you guys try to navigate this whole situation because it's still among us?
Yeah, look, there's great concern, but I think we have great trust that the NBA has taken all the possible precautions. There's only so many variables you can control. And I think the personal responsibility and the team responsibility we all take, because we understand how contagious and just how deadly this can be if not taken seriously. So I think the NBA has definitely done their part. We're going to do our part from an organizational standpoint and try to control as many of the variables as possible while not losing sight of how contagious and dangerous this disease is, or virus is.
Great, we'll move over to Tomer.
Hey guys, good to see you both. Ty, Ty, in your brief time so far, working with Luke Kennard, how do you plan to use him in an offense? Because he had a good start to last year, which kind of a small sample size. But how do you envision using him in an offense that features Kawhi and PG?
I think with Luke, you can use him on the ball as running pick and roll, coming off a lot of dribble handoff action. I think coming off pin downs and catch and shoot, he's shown he can do all three things. So he's a shooter that can make plays, which is very rare in our game. Usually it's one or the other, but he's shown that he can do a lot of different things. He's very versatile. And if you remember Detroit, towards the end of the season, they started playing with the point guard a little bit to see how that looked, and he did a fairly good job. So he's a guy that you can use in different facets of the game, coming off pin downs, running pick and roll, coming off DHOs. So we're just moving around a lot in our offense.
Thank you.
Move over to Charlie.
Hey guys, Lawrence, this is for you. We've heard so much about player development this offseason and the emphasis on it. I'd love to know, just as someone who's been in the game for so long, what does player development actually entail and mean, and why is it so important to this organization right now?
Yeah, and it's been an evolution for me as someone who started in a coaching background and then transitioning to the front office. A lot of times as a coach, you think about player development and immediately you think about young guys. And I think the way that we define player development, it's really the whole development of each and every player. So skill development is obviously led by Ty and the coaching staff, but then there's performance and medical, there's mental performance, there's nutrition, there's life skills, and all those, there's an analytical part of the development. And I think it's what's been really, really great to see, spearheaded by Ty and also Kenny Atkinson, is it's an extremely collaborative process. And it really is an organizational developmental tool where every single player has their personal development plan in all different phases. And it's not just where you are, it's where do you want to take that player? Where does that player want to go? What does he want to look like a year from now, 2 years from now? And what's the plan to get him there? And then are there a series of checks and balances to see, okay, well, how am I doing? It's not just about young players. It's about every single player. And I think it's the approach organization we take from a staff standpoint as well, is having a very detailed development plan for everyone and to make sure that we're challenging each other, that we're all continuing to learn and grow and improve.
Thanks, Charlie. We'll move over to Ohm. You can get Ohm.
Hey, Ty. Last time we talked to you, one of the things that came up was chemistry, and you said that the team had to work on the chemistry on the court more specifically. And I was wondering, you said you've talked to some players a lot in the last month. How challenging will it be to develop more chemistry on the court with all the COVID concerns, possibly kind of breaking things up, and also it's not like you guys can do team building events like going to bowl like that this season, perhaps, as long as COVID's out there, right?
Yes, sir. So I just think more so for us is practice. I think getting on the floor together, like Lawrence talked about earlier, Kawhi and PG, they both, missed training camp last year. So when, your two players of that caliber miss training camp, it's hard to build that camaraderie and that chemistry. So just having these guys healthy coming in tomorrow, I'm excited for it. I know a lot of guys are excited just to be on the court and healthy, and we're just going to take it from there.
Thanks. Move over to Beth.
Yeah, hi. This is for Ty. The NBA schedule has you guys getting right back into it with Denver on Christmas night on the road. What do you think of that matchup so soon after the playoffs?
It'd be nice. I think, the way we ended our season last year left a bad taste in our mouth. You can't judge it off one game, but to go to Denver on Christmas Day and play a good team in Denver, I think it'd be a good test for us. And we're going to be up for the challenge. We'll be ready, and I'm excited about it.
Miriam, you can go ahead.
Hey, gentlemen. Nice to see you guys again.
Nice to see you as well.
I guess sort of see, but however this works. Yeah. You guys have a couple guys that have possible extensions at hand with Paul and Luke. Is that something you guys are thinking about, talking about with them, and anything you could share as sort of your thought process on that?
Yeah, I think obviously we see both those guys as long-term Clippers. We won't go into any obviously specifics about where we're at, but we both see those guys as long-time Clippers.
And can I also ask, you mentioned sort of taking COVID seriously. Is it a conversation you guys have with guys, like, once the season starts, like, don't go to movie theaters or don't go to birthday parties, or what's that like?
Yeah, well, I think it's obviously, look, I think our guys are very, very sensitive to it, and going through the bubble experience and just all the protocols that everyone has to do daily with the testing, the surveys. Our facilities group has done a great job making sure we're all compliant in terms of the, mask wearing, the social distancing, the hand washing, the number of people that are allowed in the facility. And I think what's different between what we're going through now versus the bubble controlled many of the variables, because when we each go home, whether it's to family or friends, in the bubble, obviously you didn't have that. So now it puts additional pressure, I think, on the people that you're living with, that they're as compliant as each of us are. And as we know with this, you don't necessarily have to lack discipline to catch COVID. It could be, going to do some essential shopping. I just think it's a continued conversation. It's a continued adherence. And you got to count your blessings and be very, very fortunate, that you don't catch the virus or if, and so you just do all you can to control it.
Okay, thanks.
Dylan, you can go ahead. Let me try and unmute you here. All right, we'll get back to him. We'll go with Kurt. You can go ahead, Kurt.
Hey guys, this question is for Ty. What has the offseason been like for you, adjusting on the fly, and how do you prepare for this unique situation that is this season?
I've just been eager to get back onto the court and get on the floor, especially in these tough times. What's going on in the world today. For us, having the opportunity to be on the floor is a blessing. And I'm just excited to get back to coaching, getting on the floor and doing what I love to do.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Great. We'll move back over to Ohm.
Ty, I was wondering, what do you see the biggest addition of Serge Ibaka to this offense, and maybe how it'll help as far as like you're looking for more ball movement, rim protection? Where's he gonna add the most as far as the chemistry aspect, since he knows and has played with Kawhi?
I think just being a veteran, being a professional, which he's been his whole career, and being able to space the floor. I think when you have a range shooting five, it changes your offense and it changes the opposing defenses as well, because now guys have to get back out to shooters, and having five guys on the floor that shoot the basketball, it's big and it's huge for your offense. So I think the offensive end is great, but what Serge brings as far as defensively, of his talking on the back line, of being able to block shots at the basket, challenge shots at the basket, it's huge for us. And I know like the NBA is doing a lot of scoring now, but I do think defense is very important, to win the championship. And having Serge's presence on the defensive end is going to be huge for us.
We'll go back over to Andrew Greif. You can go ahead, Andrew.
Hey guys, this is one for each. I just don't really have a great feel for what Fiondu can do for you guys this year. Obviously, a first-round guy, a lot of upside. For Ty, I guess, what are realistic expectations you have for what he could develop into in your terms of possible rotation play? And also for Lawrence, he wasn't on that bubble roster. Do you regret not having him on that in terms of just the development he could have had being around those guys for 2 months, or do you feel like he did enough away from the team?
Go ahead, Al.
Well, I think with it is, do we regret it? No. I mean, I think, look, ideally, if you were allowed to bring more people, obviously we would have brought Fee and Jonathan Motley. We obviously were in a championship and still are in a championship contending mode, and we prioritize performance and medical for the group, the playing group. I think you would have loved to brought Fee there. Fee has a contagious personality. He's stayed engaged throughout. He would jump on Zooms and watch practice. He would talk to his teammates. He talked to the staff, and kind of live the journey, remotely. We are in different times with COVID, and you have to make some hard choices when it comes to staff size and roster size. And I'll let Ty talk about his role, but just watching him in the gym today and just to see his passion, enthusiasm, his loud voice, Kai can jump right in terms of his thoughts, but it's great to see him on the floor.
No, it's very great to see him on the floor, as El said, and just his passion for the game. Another guy who's a stretch five, and I think he can learn a lot from Serge this year of being a defensive player, being a shot blocker, but also being able to stretch the floor on the offensive end. So just watching him today, he played a little bit of the four on the floor, as he's been a five for us last year. So he's very versatile, can shoot the basketball. Like I said, talks a lot on the defensive end, which we need to get better at and improve at. And just have him around. He's just the way he talks, the way he gets along with everybody on the floor it's contagious. And just having a guy who smiles a lot and is touching guys and very positive is great to see on the floor. So being around Fee for these last couple of days has been great, and I'm glad he's back a part of the team.
Thanks, guys.
Try Dylan again.
Come on, Dylan.
Man, that mute button is a monster.
Come on, Dylan.
Joe, you just don't want Dylan to talk? What's going on there?
Yeah, I'm the worst. We'll try Jim Alexander now.
I think the unmute button works. I hope so.
Out and clear.
Ty, given COVID and all the other things that are going on, once you get everybody in camp, will the routine change at all? Is it going to be training camp as usual, or are you guys going to be doing some different things because of the situation?
Well, I think what the NBA has put in place, the first few days, we can't do a lot of things on the floor together. So the first 3 or 4 days is going to be more of individuals and guys just getting a feel for the basketball, touching the ball, seeing the ball, getting a lot of shots up. And then I think after that, after the 4th or 5th day, we can kind of start getting on the court together as a team and as a unit. So to start, it is going to be different, but I think it's actually pretty good for the young guys because they get a chance to get a head start on the veterans, and they can kind of see some of the stuff that we're trying to do and try to implement. So they get a 2 or 3 day head start on the veterans before they get in.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. We'll move back over to BT.
Ty, you played with Kobe and Shaq. You played with Michael Jordan. You coached LeBron James. How have you evolved as a coach and as a person from being a player, a coach, to where you are right now?
That's a tough question, BT. But I just think coming into my first chance of being in the NBA with the Lakers, and just having such great veterans on my team who taught me how to be a professional. And with Ron Harper, Brian Shaw, Robert Horry, Rick Fox, Shaq, Horace Grant, and they were great for me. I think, just learning the NBA, learning how to be a professional, learning how to work. And what I learned from Brian Shaw a long time ago was always tell the truth, whether they like it or not. And that even worked with Kobe and Shaq, just telling those guys the truth. They might not like it, but they respect it. And I kind of live my life by that motto. And, guys are not going to always agree. They're not going to always like what you have to say. But if you're being honest and telling the truth, I think if they're real with themselves, they can always look in the mirror and say, you know what, the next day, T. Lou, you were right. And that's all you can ask for. And I've learned that at an early age. So that's why I'll be able to hold guys accountable, whether it's a great player, the best player on the team, to the 15th player on the roster. And that's just kind of how I live. That's kind of what I live by, BT.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I cut you off when you went to go ask your follow-up question, so we'll go back to you. Apologize.
This is a question for Ty and Elle. I was wondering, when you guys have talked to Kawhi, how's he been physically? And I guess also what's his mindset been about entering this season? Last time we talked to him after that game 7, he talked about improving basketball IQ. I was wondering, what has he said to you guys about, maybe trying to turn things around from last year's finish?
Just as far as me talking to Kawhi, he's excited to get back on the court. I think when you're dealing with great players, when you lose early on in the playoffs, you're always eager to get back. And that's what great players do. We all failed at our goal last season, and we all know that. So Kawhi's done a great job of just, taking initiative to get guys on the phone, talking to guys, seeing guys more, and he's done a great job of that. So he's excited to get back on the floor just from talking to him, and we're all excited as well.
Thanks, Om. We'll take one last one from Miriam. Miriam, you can go ahead.
I guess following up on Ohm, just so is Kawhi's health, like, do you expect that he'll, do the injury management again this year? And then I guess also following up on Brad's question, how much do you think about kind of your experience in Cleveland and sort of getting guys on the same page, and how valuable will that be sort of going into this season?
I think it'd be very valuable. I think, anytime you coach LeBron James, there's a lot of media scrutiny, a lot of pressure to win. And just being able to deal with that caliber player, with Kawhi and PG, being, our best two players on the team, I think that, I translate over to just being the Clippers coach, of just being able to relate to those guys, understanding, what, stars in this league, how they perform, what they like, what they want to do. And just being around guys like that has definitely helped me out a lot. Your second question was what again?
Sorry, just about Kawhi's health. Like, obviously you mentioned that he and PG are ready to go for training camp, but do you expect injury management again this year or anything like that?
Well, we just want to get all the guys here. Once we get guys here and get hands and eyes on these guys, I think our sports science team, which is unbelievable, we'll have a better gauge of, what we're going to do going forward as far as, games and minutes and things of that nature. But right now, everyone's healthy. We're excited to get back in the gym. We're excited to get on the floor and start training camp. So that's all I can tell you as of right now.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, gentlemen. That's all the time we got for today.